Totem pole, totem pole, totem pole, totem pole, totem pole.
Totem Pole Nation, the Life Lessons Podcast, episode 193. Do your job. In life, everybody has a job. Everybody has a station. Everybody has a level that they're supposed to be working. And isn't it human nature that some of us, me, all of us, don't like their job? They want a bigger job. They want to be smart. Well, it's guys like Nick Saban and Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. They really figured this thing out. Do your job. Lambo, what does that mean to you?
I know repeatedly I've watched the 2014 when we won the Super Bowl for the first time in 10 years, a long drought. The message of the 2014 Patriots team was to do your job. We had two great corners in Darrell Revis, Brandon Browner. We got Martellus Bennett. We had LeGarrette Blunt. That was the season that the Patriots faced adversity. They were 2-2 into the first four games, and as the history of the Patriots repeats, despite Super Bowl wins, the Patriots always struggled the first four games this season. They always did. Um, I know people go to crazy. I tell them they're not trying to win. Bill Belichick says they're trying to win every single game. So every single year they either go 1-3, 2-2, and Brady's rusty. He needs to be gone, and then that's where the Jimmy Garoppolo controversy kicked in when he got sit down against the Monday night game in Kansas City, where Alex Smith and that offense torched us 41-14. That's a game I very remember because I know there was a lot of hate talking about we're not going to win the Super Bowl because of that game. Um, we went in 2014. New England Patriots faced a lot of adversity, had some injuries and whatnot, but the message to that team was to do your job. Don't worry about somebody else's assignment. If you can do your job, you will win. So that is one of the stories that I remember. And despite the deflation of balls and whatnot, that's not true. That's the weather. It poured down rain. If it was sunny, we wouldn't be talking about it. But see, that's 10 years ago. But do your job is the method that Bill Belichick has had for a while. Nick Saban has had for a while as well at Alabama. If you just do your job and worry about your assignment, they're masters at it when it comes to do your job. It's all about the master, right? The master develops, right? At the end of the day, you have to be able to help others. You can't brag about yourself. You have to help others and elevate others. That's what's the great thing about sports. It's about telling a story. That's the great thing about coaches when you have your assistants get elevated. Like Nick Saban still loses a bunch of assistants like Steve Sarkisian, Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, and there's a list that goes on. Lane Kiffin. There's a list that goes on. But if you don't elevate your assistants to get better, then that doesn't make you a great head coach. Make you a great head coach is having great assistants. Bill Belichick has some great assistants. Now you could say his assistants didn't do well in the NFL as a head coach, trying to be Belichick, but that's different. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to elevate others, and elevating others is very, very
Totem
important.
pole, totem pole, totem pole, totem pole, totem.
MK in the house. MK, today's episode of Life Lessons Podcast is do your job. MK, what are you thinking about for the quote of the day? In life, you go through different seasons. You go through different obstacles. and challenges. You have to make your way through those things. And once you go through one thing, it's almost like it prepares you for another. And the lessons that we learn from our parents, from our coaches, from our teachers, those are lessons, life lessons. I mean, if you're only learning that Pythagoras taught a squared plus b squared equals c squared, like, is that all he knew? The wisest person is not the one who thinks they know more than everyone in the room. The wisest person is the one who wants to learn something from each person in the room. Wow. So the wisest person is the most humble. The wisest person knows that they don't know everything. The wisest person knows they can learn from others. Sometimes it's what not to do. So, Lambo, what do you think about the quote of the day?
That's a great quote.
Well, you locked up there, and all I heard was that's a great quote. So,
Yeah, that's all I said.
okay, good. Did you lock up on your screen too?
No, I just walked out the house. That's what happened. I just walked out the house.
Okay, so what do you think about today's quote? The wisest person is not the one who thinks they know more than everyone in the room. The wisest person is the one who wants to learn something from each person in the room.
It's the same thing when it goes to Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. It's called having great assistants. It's called relations. It's called, and that's what's great about this world because everybody can't be Albert Einstein. Everybody can't be Benjamin, Franklin. Um, there was somebody that helped them to invent, one of them to invent the light bulb, and whoever and Benjamin Franklin on the $100 bill that invented the light bulb. That's not something he did by himself. He had somebody with ideas. So at the end of the day, it's called working together and having ideas to what really goes down. Because see, if you think one-sided, if you don't think outside the box, then are you as good as you say you are? You have to be able to think outside the box. Once you think
Yes.
when you think outside of the box, it challenges you to do it challenges you to a next level. It challenges you to do things better. At the end of the day. So if you're able to think outside the box, and also you have to have uh people around you that are smart and wise. Because at the end of the day, you have to be able to create a foundation. And you can create a foundation, but it's always going to be somebody that's going to be a destroyer, right? Because at the end of the day, not a lot of people like the process. And you have to be able to like the process in order to get better. And sometimes the process, you win in the process, and you definitely lose in the process because it teaches you lessons on how to get better each and every day. This is
Yeah.
why we wake up every day because we had to better ourselves. If you're not bettering yourselves, you shouldn't live on this earth right now. You should just be gone. You should just be dead and gone because
Yeah.
if you're not able to better yourself and if you don't want to be around people that help you get to the next level, then what's the point of living life?
What are your opinions? War Guy 64. What are your opinions on Mind Goblin? Mind
And
Goblin. I don't know what Mind Goblin is. I know your mind is what I guess are your thoughts, and a goblin is like what, a ghoul or a goblin. What is Mind Goblin
Uh, to be honest, I don't even know what he's really talking about. Um, I think my best explanation, if the answer,
There
um,
you go. Yay! Good job, War Guy 64. Man, that's awesome. Let's keep that up there.
well,
War Guy
eh, we,
64. That is the best, dude. You got us. You got us, man.
eh, that's an old joke. I mean, who cares? That's the
Is it?
oldest joke in the book. Yeah.
Yeah. Lizard Godzilla. Is the guy with the glasses transgender? Well, see, that's the thing. What's this guy's name? Lizard Godzilla. You can be whatever you want to be. You can be a lizard and a Godzilla. But watch out, Lizard Godzilla, because you may meet a real Lizard Godzilla. Yeah, we can be whatever we want to be. How do you know what I am? Lizard Godzilla. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not a lizard. I'm not a Godzilla. War Guy 64, Lizard Godzilla, MK, y'all are the best. This is life lessons. This is life lessons podcast. Do your job. Some people don't even know what their job is. Some people aren't even aware of what they're doing. And they're just being an archetype, a repeated pattern, which is a joker, a troll. They don't even know who pulls their strings. Maybe they're not even real people. Maybe they're just bots. But there's builders and there's destroyers. There's people who are hurt and hurt others. And there's people who have been hurt, but they have been healed and they heal others. See, people who are hurt and hurt others, they're jokers. They're villains. The same thing that makes a hero makes a villain. The same thing that made the Joker made Batman. It's just, and what you do after you're hurt. Do you hurt others or do you heal others? Do you build others up or do you tear them down? I guess we're just builders. But you know what? We can be destroyers too. Can't we, Lambo? We have another side to us. Why? Because we're a human being. And to deny your shadow is to deny being human. What are you thinking, Lambo?
A destroyer. You can destroy anything that you build. Here's the only problem when it comes to destroying. The people that are destroyers, you got to get them away because at the end of the day, you don't want somebody messing up your vision. And not everybody has a great vision. Because like I said, they don't believe in the process. You have to
Yeah,
believe.
but they are the process because they're just
Well,
playing an archetype. They're playing a role that has been repeated over and over in the pattern in humanity. That people who are great, people who do good, have haters.
hold on to that part. Hold that thought, bro. You have to realize this, right? You don't really find out who the destroyers are until you tell somebody no, and they hate you forever. That's how it is. Once they tell you no, they hate you forever. That is the wise words of Charles Barkley. He's not the first person to say it, by the way, but
Say that again.
it's when you tell somebody no, they hate you forever. When you tell somebody no,
When they
it's the
don't love
wise
you.
word.
I
Meaning,
concur 110% with that statement.
Meaning, if you ask somebody for something, and I'm not saying that Charles Barkley's first person to say this, but watching the Club Shay Shay interview with Charles Barkley, and everybody got millions of dollars, and you got to take care of everybody. I don't know why everybody has to do that, but when you tell somebody no, they hate you forever. That's just how it is. Because some people can't take no for an answer, right?
Because
And
they
at
can't
the,
take the truth.
and yes, that's part. But at the end of the day, here's what people don't understand. We're too afraid to be honest with each other. We're too afraid to be honest with each other, right? Life don't owe you nothing. Your parents don't owe you nothing. Your parents gave you life. Your parents gave you life. They don't owe you nothing back. Their job was to take care of you until you're able to take care of yourself. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. But you also have to start a foundation. You cannot build a roof first. When you build a house, you start from the foundation. You don't start from the roof. You have to start from the foundation. If you build the roof first, it's gonna fall down.
Do your
That's the
job,
problem.
man of all. What does it mean to you to do
Hey,
your job?
yeah, yeah, you build a house with a roof first, but it's built with the foundation because at the foundation level, you're exposed to weather, rain, and storms and stuff. But over time, once you get to the roof and fought through that stormy weather, then you have cover, meaning you have wisdom, you have a little bit better financial situation, you
Really?
know, than you were than you did when you were while you were building the foundation. Absolutely, because that goes back to, like you said, when you have to start taking care of yourself, like when you become an adult at 18. You're just out there. I mean, they're helping you, but again, they don't owe you anything. Some people kick people out the door at 18 and go figure it out.
Parlay Joe, Coach Troy. Man, I'm telling you, I've been studying synchronicity. I've been studying Dr. Carl Jung. I've been studying all kinds of stuff, learning. And MK, good morning, Paul. MK's quote of the day. Let me share this with
Good morning, MK.
the man from Seattle.
Go ahead.
The wisest person is not the person who thinks they know more than everyone in the room. The wisest person is the person who wants to learn something from each person in the room. And I've met a few people that have met Bill Belichick and know him. And this is what they say. They say Bill Belichick is the greatest listener of all time. And doesn't it only make sense that he would be the greatest listener when his dad was the greatest storyteller
Yes,
of all time?
yes,
Man,
yes.
go ahead, Paul. What do you think about
No,
that quote?
no. I think a ton about that, and the Belichick check example is is right on. And I mean, I read a story one day, speaking of storytelling, where Belichick told a story of he realized he didn't realize Randy Moss was a genius till he sat and listened to the guy talk to him. And because he was such a great listener, he knows how to decipher between, like, you can ask Belichick a question and he can tell that you're a novice reporter. Well, he could listen to a football player and see if and tell if the football player has a novice mind,
Why is that?
because he spent more time listening in his life as a youngster than most people ever do, because most people are actually talking and
Ooh.
saying things. But he words had meaning to Mr. Belichick, and he listened to everything. And like you said, I realized Randy Moss is a genius after meeting him and him playing for me, and I had to sit and listen to him. That resonated with me. Belichick and Randy Moss, before they linked up, didn't go in the same sentence to me. It's just this weird combination. But again, one of his favorite players all time. Ask him, Randy Moss.
Yeah, I think the fact is he's a genius because he is him. They love it. They love it. And Randy
Hmm.
Moss doesn't become Randy Moss unless he loves it. I mean, the guy was committed to Notre Dame, got in trouble, went to Florida State, got kicked out, went to Marshall, and boom. Like, then there was some intelligence that went around and he fell in the draft and he ended up in Minnesota.
Hmm.
And the world's never been the same. Like, a
Hmm.
guy told me he is the prototype. He is the prototype. Like, how can you get taller? How can you get faster? How can you get better? I guess you can get shorter, but you can't get taller and faster. And here's something I told Lambeau, Paul, and I don't know if you were even on this text thread. I learned this yesterday, man. I've had some strange things occur. Well, not really strange because they're really just part of the pattern. A long time ago, the people who built buildings knew that human beings are influenced by other human beings. Human beings are influenced by their surroundings and what they see and what they hear. That's what being a disciple is that you are disciplined and you have learned from someone else. And they built these big buildings with symmetry. They're the same on both sides. They follow the pattern. And they knew that if they built these buildings and people saw them and looked at them, that they would act with symmetry. It's almost like Spencer told me, Troy, put things in your house that are important. Hang them up on the wall. You don't put things on the wall that ain't important because those symbols, those pictures, teach a lesson. They teach things to your kids. And that blew my mind because I started thinking, why don't we live in symmetrical houses today? Because they don't want us to figure the pattern out. See, Bill Belichick knows the pattern. He knows the process. He knows the algorithm. He knows what it takes. And the algorithm, the process, the pattern to play professional football is more like the military than it is a Lamborghini yard line with a hat and sword. Paul.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Woo!
Yes. Yes.
There's a pattern. Oh, yeah. Some people think there ain't no pattern. Some people think they're the pattern. Some
Yep.
people think they wrote the pattern. No, it's a pattern, and it's geometry, it's math, it's life. Go Packers. The Packers know the pattern. They know the process. They've
Yes.
done it before. They'll
Yep.
do it again. They
Yes.
don't build their team through the draft. They build their team through acquiring players that fit their pattern, that fit their process, and want to be a part of the process and want to improve. Paul, from what I'm saying about these building of buildings, and then just because you know the pattern don't mean you're good. And just because you know the pattern don't mean you're bad. Because some people will make us think that the pattern is bad. They'll make us think that the triangle is bad. They'll make us think that the all-seeing eye is bad. That is perception. This is life lessons. Paul, what are you thinking from what I'm saying?
It's so true. I mean, and the people out there, and you don't even have to speak names, but we know what you're talking about. As far as people who get it and use it and work it, and then people who just sometimes I don't even know if there's even a regard for pattern. Like if there's even a thought of how things are going to get done and how we're going to win football games. It,
There's a pattern that built the pyramids. There's a
yeah,
pattern. There's a way. They don't want you to know the way because that way is undefeated. It's the same pattern that David's mighty men defeated the giants. It's a pattern. It's an energy. It works, doesn't it, Paul? Is this leadership? What I mean, getting everybody on the same vibe, the same wavelength, on the same page. It's a pattern.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Paul?
I'm thinking more about the people who aren't trying to use a pattern. That's what I'm thinking about.
They're not trying to think they pattern. They're not trying to use the pattern because they think they're smarter than the pattern.
Yes, that's it. That is it right there. There you
The
go.
wizard knows he ain't the wizard, but the wizard knows the pattern, and he'll admit what he is. You didn't write the pattern, man. You ain't smart, and you ain't the pattern. That pattern has been known a long time, and we have been taught to forget it. We've been taught not to even believe that it's real. Life has a pattern. It's symmetrical. Like, man, we are teaching life lessons. Part of the pattern is doing your job. But some people don't want to follow the pattern. They want a better job. They want to move up. So what do? They get the other guy fired, or they try to get the other guy fired. But I said earlier, Paul, the same thing that makes a hero makes a villain.
Mm-hmm.
People who are hurt and hurt others, you're the villain. You think you're doing it for the right reasons. But when you're a hero, you've been hurt, but you've healed, and you're going to heal others. You're going to build other people up. Paul, what are you thinking? I need that wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, so I have a story for that one. Oof.
He is the pattern. He is the pattern, and every pattern leads you to him. Just because someone else believes another pattern doesn't mean that pattern doesn't lead you to the pattern. Who was the pattern? Huh? Yeah. See, woo, 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 woo. They want to divide us. Well, I wonder who is they? The government, the guy that's got the church in the Astrodome, the mob, the mob rule. Heck no, we won't go. Heck no, we won't go. There's 3 of them. They want to get the coach fired. They join the angry mob. Is there? I mean, I guess that's why they're called the mob. It's the same. Yeah. Follow the pattern. Go ahead, Paul. Lambo, what are you thinking?
You just said go ahead, Paul. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, Paul's thinking right now. So that's why, like, what are you thinking, Lambo?
Well, you know what's funny? You just have to be able to continue forward because you can't worry about other people and their process because the process is different than yours. That's the problem that we have in America. We try to compare the process. Everybody's process is different. Some people will get there faster. Some people will get there slower. It's all about time. Time. Now I know you're not supposed to waste time, but it's all about time and time management and how you use your time wisely. You have 24 hours in a day, right? And what the real world is trying to tell you is that the real world, if you don't know how to explore your options elsewhere, talk about finding a better job. There's no such thing as really finding a better job, right? There's a such thing as sucking somebody off to get a better job, but that doesn't work either because you work 8 hours a day, right? You sleep for 8 hours a day, and then what do you do for the other 8 hours? Spend time with your kids, do something else. You only got very little time. 24 hours goes by fast. So if you don't do something that you love, then you'll be, you'll suffer and you'll be miserable. See, what people don't understand at the end of the day is the process, meaning the process is they rush the decisions. They make the decisions based off emotions and not, other information.
Uh,
Don't make rational decisions off
I made
emotions. Because
$150 yesterday on what is it? DoorDash. I
Sure,
just
Dad.
started doing it. I made $150 on DoorDash yesterday.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. How
it's a
many
pattern.
deliveries?
Yeah, it's a pattern. I just rushed to a decision. That's easy, man. I just go pick up food and bring it to people. All you
How
gotta
many
do is,
times?
I think I made like 18 deliveries. I don't really know. I don't know.
Oh,
I
that's
did
cool.
pick up. Oh yeah, it is cool. You would be great at it. I'll teach you. I teach you. What do you think, Paul? What Lambo is saying? What you've heard so far today? You came on a little late. But what are you thinking about today's podcast? Do your job. I guess do your job means follow the pattern,
Yes,
the process,
do your job. Yes.
your mode of operation, mob.
Mode
Mode
of
of operation,
operation.
MOA,
Yeah,
mode of operation. That's not your MOA.
yeah. Do your job. Because it all comes back to team. You do your job, the team in whatever walk of life that you work in, it's gonna be successful. It's when not doing your job, meaning I want, I selfishly want a new job, a new position, or I want to be the one that gets promoted. Well, in all walks of life too, the team promotes from within. The individual, like you guys were talking about earlier, the destroyer, the person that seeks to destroy everyone in their own interest of moving up, that's the person in the end that's going to be left by themselves without a team and without anyone to push them up, moving forward. And those
And
people
then
get
who do
picked
they
out.
blame? Then who do they blame?
They blame the team.
They blame world. They blame the world. They
Yes.
blame society.
They blame
That's
everyone
why
else besides themselves. And all of us, if we think real hard, and I mean, and I'm talking
it's
entry
on.
level stuff. I'm talking in elementary school when you have like a little group project or something. There's always, hopefully, there's not always, but when there's that person who wants to take over via destroying, they always get picked out and they always get left behind. The promotions come from within, meaning promotions come from the team. Team players get promoted, and as Lambo said, it's a process. Everyone's is different. Some people get promoted faster than others, but everyone's going in the same direction. But just like a carton of milk, we all have an expiration date on how high is our is our totem pole, and it mean it being like being a general is not a successful life or career. Maximizing your maximizing your performance and your aptitude is a successful career in life, in anything you do, whether it's a job, whether it's a hobby, like playing golf. Not all of us are going to be Tiger Woods, but you can reach a peak of performance where you can be successful, and it can make for a happy life for you if that's your thing, golf. But we don't have to be perfect.
Yeah. And it makes me think about Jay Bateman. And
Oh,
even though
stop. You shouldn't have said that. That's
you
my
may
new favorite person in all of America. The way he wrote that
people may
guy,
put
man.
you, yeah, people may put you as the high man on the totem pole, but you know your level. You know your plum. You know your square. You know who you are. And you're not better than anyone else. That's why we say the people that are big time don't act big time. They don't have to
Dang,
act big time. The people who are not big time, they try to act big time. Talk a little bit about Coach Jay Bateman.
Look, if I didn't know anything about him, just in that setting, the way he moved around, I wouldn't even thought he was a coach at A&M. I would think he was like, you know how like some of the bigger schools have like a regional scout
Yeah.
or a guy that's in
What's
the
up,
region,
Kent?
and that's who I thought he was the whole time we were out there.
And he
Not
poured into
not
Lambeau.
defensive coordinator, College Station. I didn't think that.
He built up Lambeau. He helped Lambeau. He was giving him advice. Torian Gray was helping out Lambeau, giving back, building him up. Talk a little bit about these guys that you've been around in the last couple weeks that you've been able to meet who are really big time. Do they act big time? Or do they do their job? I mean, is your job to show off your logo and walk around like you're important?
No.
To show off your rank? Those are the guys that aren't successful. Look at me. Look at my rank. That's why they give you the first sergeant. That's why King Solomon had his master builder.
Well, Shamari still knew who he was.
Yeah. There was a reason that he knew who he was. But the Joe Schmo would just thought he was an everyday guy. An everyday guy. Everyday guy. Paul, what are you thinking, man? How are you feeling about being a part of the Life Lessons podcast and what you've been able to experience meeting the defensive coordinator from Texas A&M?
It's still a blessing. I mean, and every day it's something else. And every day is just like that day so far. Whether it's a topic we talk about or me meeting somebody, it's always something special. I can always pull something special.
You know why? You're following the pattern. The pattern will reveal itself, dude. I'm gonna tell you all this, and it's crazy. Okay, so yesterday when I was delivering, I got a delivery, and it took me to behind Spencer's on Centralia. For some reason, I was like, this is taking me to that neighborhood that me and my brother almost bought a house, and it didn't. But then, like, I went out later and I delivered some pizzas, and it was taking me. And this is when I woke up and I heard that thing about the buildings, that they used to build buildings with symmetry. Now they don't, because they don't want you to know the pattern. They want you to think you can make your own pattern. They want you to think that there ain't a pattern. So I got these pizzas, 5 things from Marco's. I'm driving down Centralia Road, and it's taking me to Proctor's Point. I'm like, okay, this is the neighborhood that me and Tony almost bought a house. Dude, I pulled on the road, and I was like, well, which house was it? I looked at the house. I went in the cul-de-sac, went around. The algorithm, the DoorDash, led me right to the house that me and my brother were supposed to buy, but we didn't buy because it had a lien on it. It wouldn't close. I called my dad and I called my brother, and I was like, y'all ain't gonna believe this. Man, it's synchronization. Like, there's a pattern, y'all. It's math. It's geometry. It's life. There's rules. You might not think there's any rules. Oh, yeah, there are rules. There's rules to this game. Your parents knew them, Paul, and your grandparents knew them. What do you think about that? I mean, crazy things happen to us, don't they, Paul? Have you ever had a story like that? Where, I mean, I love your hair, fellas. Yeah, I love my hair too. Can you believe that I got hair plugs? Look at this. I got these hair plugs, $10,000. Take a look at that. Ain't that great? You would never thought that this is actually hair plugs, would you, Paul? Paul, do you know what I'm talking about? Like that moment when you're like, what is going on, dude? Like, I can't believe earlier in the day I was thinking it was taking me to the house, and it went right to the house. Man, go ahead, Paul. What are you thinking from the story I'm saying?
They're called deja vu moments, man. I can't remember the last time I had one, but it happens.
But deja
More,
vu means it happened before, right?
yeah.
Why are you?
And it comes
Yeah.
back around.
Why are the other two walking and being annoying? Well, that's just some people's job. It's almost like being a troll on YouTube. You know, why you do what you do? You don't even know why you do what you do. Maybe you're just a part of the algorithm. Maybe you're just a troll. Maybe you're just a bot. Maybe you're just a clone. Maybe you're doing exactly what they want you to do. Paul, what do you think?
That was quick trigger. Oh man, yeah. No.
I mean, me
Typical.
and you met. Me and you met. Was that deja vu? Or was it meant to be? Me and Lambo met. Was that deja vu? Or was it meant to be?
I don't know. I mean,
There ain't no accidents, man.
no, there's not. I mean, I just don't like my life would be totally different without that morning, and yours would too, and everything else around it would be. It would just be different. No, I mean, just think of how different your world would have been had we not crashed into each other at Walmart. That'd
I
be
don't know if my world would have been any different. My world's crazy, dude. Your life kind of changed because you became a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm already. I don't even know what I'm doing, Paul.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah,
Maybe that's why they call it a secret.
you do.
Just because the other person doesn't admit it, does that make it a secret?
It's called the hustle. You know the hustle.
I know the hustle.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to have a hustle. That's the number one thing you can say about somebody. Oh, this is great. This is great. Andrew Hall. I'm guessing these three had blank with each other. Yeah. Man, we're really upsetting the algorithm. Yeah. Y'all don't like us. You know why? Because we ain't on the same frequency. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We ain't from the same energy, bruh.
What?
Big
Why?
man boobs. Yeah. That's why we love y'all. Because we know we're doing it right. When someone's telling you you're doing it wrong. That's man. Go ahead, Paul. Lambo, what are you thinking? Lambo, you're looking, you want to say something, Lambo?
I mean, I'm not, if you don't have haters, you're not doing nothing right, and the comments are kind of egregious and outrageous. So, if you're speaking negativity like that,
Johnny
that
two
means you're
bags.
well.
You got two bags?
I'm just saying if you're
I got
speaking
one bag, and it ain't Louis Vuitton.
if you're speaking I'm just
And with
saying if you're
mine, I got a
speaking
cane.
if you're speaking any negativity like that, then you don't have anything better for yourself, because what you do is feel sorry for yourself and you come up with excuses. So that's what the situation is at the end of the day. People come up with excuses of why they can't better themselves. And this is why you wake up every day and you're still living on this earth, because God gave you plenty of chances to redeem yourself. But those people that hate us and that make those comments, they're just miserable in life. So all you have to do is just wish for them, wish for the best for them. But at the end of the day, those people are scrubs, and we can't be a part of that negativity because it's not gonna better ourselves. And you don't want to be a jealous, incredible hutch.
Bye-bye. It ain't the house that's important. It's not the person that's important. It's what's inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the totem pole that's important. It's what it took to build the totem pole.
Yep.
There's symmetry, there's pattern. It tells a story. We're the low man on the totem pole because we're all on the same level. That's why we rock with everybody. That's why we love you guys. Paul, you want to end us with, and then I got to get ready to go. What do you think, man? You want to shout out our sponsors?
Go ahead. St. Pete Rejuvenate.
We love you. We love St. Pete Rejuvenate. We love Autograph.io. We love you, Totem Pole Nation. What time are we going to do the Totem Pole Force today?
Do your job.
Do your job. Hey, Johnny, you don't have to be sorry, bruh. You ain't never done nothing I ain't done or incapable of doing. We love y'all. We got 97 people watching. We